I've talked to a ton of photographers and creatives lately, all feeling stuck and burnt out and unmotivated this winter. This video is going to tell you exactly how to fix it. Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Nick. If you're new here, I am a full-time street and travel photographer living out of a suitcase now for a little over 2 years. I make videos like this about travel, photography, life as a creative. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, don't be afraid to hit the subscribe button, follow along for more. And right off the bat, if you're sitting here thinking, well, you get to travel full-time, you get to see the world, how are you burnt out and unmotivated and everything? Hear me out, trust me. I've been at an absolute loss with photography this winter. And I know we're kind of heading into spring now, but the reality is I'm still trying to shake off the rust. Last year was a total gauntlet of travel and I loved every single second of it, but it was a lot. And now I've been back in my hometown, my home city, Denver, for a few months. And for a while, especially at the beginning, January, February, it was like I couldn't even bring myself to pick up a camera. So even though most of the year I get to explore new places and travel and see things and photograph, really cool stuff, this winter has been all just doing taxes, renewing my license plate, admin, logistical stuff back home. The truth is, I think I've gotten way too used to having an endless stream of new and different and exciting locations to shoot in, things to explore, things that are so vastly different from, where I grew up here in Denver. And, there's nothing at all wrong with Denver. There's nothing wrong with Colorado. It's a great place to live if you want to be close to the mountains. But for me personally, I spent 2 decades of my life here, and this is the worst possible time to be in the city. So the first thing I want to cover is just boredom with shooting in the same place. I know for a lot of street photographers, especially people who don't live in New York or Chicago or whatever, it can be a little bit difficult to constantly shoot the same places, the same streets, the same, coffee shop windows, whatever. The truth is though, no matter where you live, no matter how cool your city is, it gets old eventually. I mean, I've talked to New York photographers who are like bored of shooting New York City, if you can imagine that. And it is valid despite what you might think. I mean, even if you live somewhere like New York City, it can be hard to get shots that aren't, New York-esque shots. And if you want to capture something different, you want to get out of your comfort zone, it can be difficult to do that. Even more so if you live in a mid-sized city like Denver or even a small town. I spent some time in North Carolina in a small town there, and that was a really challenging period for me too. That's why we pull our credit cards out to pay for airline tickets so that we can see new places. To have those experiences, to see those things that are so far from what we're used to at home, it's inspiring and helps the creative juices flow even when you're back in your old familiar surroundings. So here's my advice. If you're out of new spots to explore, start consuming more art than you create. Okay, that's step 1. Watch films, go to galleries, see concerts, whatever it might be. Step 2, take a break and quit trying to force it. The few times that I tried to go out in Denver with not much of a plan other than, I need to shoot, I need to be out here doing this, it didn't go well for me. It didn't feel satisfying, it wasn't enjoyable, and I didn't come back with anything that I wanted. And also, sorry, I know I'm like glowing and the light is crazy. I'm just trying to record this before the sun goes down. Okay, so now that you've consumed new art to get inspired and you've taken a break, the next step is approaching things with fresh eyes. Now it's time to get back out there. So take a week off, go to a gallery, whatever it might be, quit trying to force it, and then go out. And don't just go out with your camera and show up and kind of hope for the best, but make a plan and think ahead and, figure out what you want to shoot before you get there. We may have all explored our cities top to bottom, but have you gone to every single one of your favorite spots in all the different weather conditions, night, day, rain, snow, whatever? Places always look different throughout the day, different times of the day, the light changes. And the next thing I want to cover is kind of on the same topic, just simply wishing you could be somewhere else. Maybe that kind of creative reset that we talked about isn't quite enough and you just have this hunger to explore something new. I understand that. I totally get that. Last year I spent the winter partially in Mexico and that was great, but that's not realistic for a lot of people. My advice to you is to start going about a day of photography as though you're on a trip, even though you're not. Pull up Google Maps and pretend you've never been to your city before. What would you do? Where would you eat? What would you visit? What tourist attractions would you go and see? Take a Saturday or a Sunday or whatever day off you have, build out an itinerary just like you would if you were on a trip somewhere really cool. Take your camera out and see what happens. And my thinking in saying this is just that, if you're already having fun, if you already have a cool itinerary of, galleries and things planned, you're so much more likely to have a good day, even if you don't come away with anything. And honestly, the pressure won't be only on photography. You won't be going out for a singular purpose and then getting disappointed when you can't achieve that one thing. At the very least, if you still can't capture anything that you love, you're gonna have a great day. You know, bring a friend, bring your partner, whatever. Another thing you can do, especially if you are part of any like Facebook groups or local, you know, photography groups in your area, is find a friend to shoot with. And not just any friend, but somebody who really inspires you and motivates you. I made a point of doing that this week with my friend Jeff Tidwell. He is, hopefully I'm pronouncing his last name right, but he is one of the most inspiring photographers in my opinion from the Colorado, Denver area, just because this city is really small. It feels really small after a while to shoot. It's tough to find days where people are outside, but somehow every photo this man takes is phenomenal, and very little of his work looks like it's you know, repetitive or from the same, you know, handful of places. Find somebody who inspires you, go out, make the time to shoot with them, and really pay more attention to them than you do the shoot, because a lot of the time seeing somebody else shoot the same things opens your eyes to a lot of different techniques and how they see the world, and it can ignite, you know, all kinds of different ideas for you. So try that out and see if it helps. It certainly helped with me. I probably got the best photos that I've gotten so far in Denver out with Jeff, and it wasn't even, you know, an amazing day. The light wasn't perfect, there weren't a ton of people around, but just being able to see how somebody else works and you know, have a good conversation in the process, I find is really inspiring. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is how you can use the winter and the tough weather to your advantage, and that is you know, not always fun. It's not fun to stand out in the freezing rain or snow. It's annoying to, you know, shoot and try to find all your camera's buttons with you know, gloves on and things like that. But if my time in Montreal and New York and Boston in the colder months taught me anything, those are also the most rewarding times to shoot. I mean, you really earn those shots, and in my experience, the determination that it takes to, you know, put on 6 layers of clothes and go out and fight with the elements just to get, you know, photos. It feels great when you come away with something. It feels even better than if you're walking around in a t-shirt. Now, again, I know I'm saying all this to you right at the end of winter, but this still applies. I mean, if it's supposed to be gray or rainy or whatever, don't let that stop you. I mean, like we said, you know, places change. Your favorite locations might look different in the gray or the rain or the night or whatever. Lean into it and see what happens. You know, I used to hate going out in the rain, hate going out when it was cold, but the more I do it, the more rewarding I find that it actually is. And plus, that coffee or beer or snack after your shoot always tastes so much better when you know that you really, really earned it. Now, that's gonna about do it for this video. I mean, those are the things that I've found over the last couple months, feeling uninspired, feeling burnt out, that have kind of, you know, helped me pull myself out of that funk. So if you have anything to add, feel free to leave a comment. I would love to start a conversation about all the things that help you, you know, get out of a creative rut. But without any further ado, be sure to like, comment, subscribe for the algorithm. Help me get this video out to more people in their own creative ruts. Hopefully we can help as many people as possible. And thank you very much. As always, I will see you in the next one.